Hey everyone, welcome to my channel for the love of sports. Today we'll be going over the ATP tennis predictions for the Madrid tournament. We're on a 24 and 19 run. We went 3 and 3 yesterday. Let's hope to make it a winning day today. So first we'll kind of recap our last couple of days. So yesterday we went 3 and 3 as you can see here. We went 2 and 2 on the tennis bets, and we went 1 and 1 in the NBA bets. So we can't seem to find that positive factor. We're kind of breaking even at this point, but I have a couple good plays for today, and I feel like today could be that winning day. So let's get started. Before we do that, we can just take a look at the betting spreadsheet by sport that is updated. So we are 24 and 19 overall, 19 and 14 in tennis, 2 and 1 in NHL, 1 and 2 in the MLB, and 2 and 2 in the NBA. All right, so our first match is Alexander Vukic versus Kai Nishikori. This is their first meeting. Now, Alexander Vukic is an automatic fade for me. This is an easy one. I'm fading Alexander Vukic no matter what. Kai Nishikori is good enough to beat him, and Alexander Vukic hasn't won a match in like 10 matches, I believe. He's been in horrible form. He has taken sets in a lot of these matches. He just can't seem to finish any of the games. So I definitely do trust Nishikori in this spot. Next game we have Demir versus Mattia Belushi. Mattia Belushi does lead the head-to-head 1-0. This definitely suits Demir a lot more though in this surface at least. I feel like this definitely suits him more. Mattia Belushi is still trying to get the hang of this surface. He does lead the head-to-head, but I would lean Demir if I had to bet it. Next match we have David Goffin versus Alexander Muner. Mueller actually has been pretty impressive at times this season. I feel like David Goffin. I mean, he beat Mariano Navone in that game that we had Mariano Navone. So, you know, we've seen David Goffin have some success. He beat Carlos Alcaraz, which is like pretty much the biggest win of the season for him. Mueller, though, he's been pretty consistent, and I trust him against David Goffin and David Goffin. Uh, Apologies, in this spot. So I would definitely lean Alexander Mueller. Gotta see if the price is worth it, though. Next, I have Echeverry versus Hamad Medjedovic. Echeverry leads 1-0 in the head-to-head, and the head-to-head was in the clay. So this is a surface that um, favors Echeverry. He does seem to like the surface. His form has not been great this year. Hamad Medjedovic's form has been a lot better. I feel like this is a three-setter or a very close two-setter. Hard to predict. I would lean Medjedovic just because he's a hard hitter and I feel like he can give Echeverry a bit of problems. Next, we have Daniel Altmaier versus Nicolas Jarry. Altmaier leads 1-0 in the head-to-head, and I do think he'll take this one down. Jarry has just been very consistent this year. He hasn't been able to string along any consecutive wins really, and I do trust Daniel Altmaier more in this spot. He also leads in the head-to-head, so just more reason to take him. Next, we have Lorenzo Sonego versus Kekmanovic. Lorenzo Sonego leads 5-3 in the head-to-head. In four of those head-to-head matches, they were in the clay, and it's split right down the middle, 2-2. So, with that being said, we know that the matches are going to be pretty close in terms of talent-wise, and I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to 3 sets. Just not a game I'm going to take. It could go either way. Next, we have Quinton House versus Luciano Dardari. Dardari has looked great. He has looked great. He's gone far in a couple of tournaments. Quinton House, though, he has potential. He has a big serve, and that serve is very hard to break. So it could give Dardari a little bit of issues. But on this surface, I have to lean Dardari. Next, we have Suzu Bergs versus Nishioka. For me, this is just Bergs. I know the money line is insane, like minus 500, I think it was, which is crazy. Not a game that I'm going to touch, but I do expect Zuzu Bergs to take this one down. Next, we have Van de Sancho versus Jan Leonard Struff. 1-1 in the head-to-head so far. Whew, this is a toss-up. Struff has looked really bad this season in terms of his form. I would have to lean away from Struff just until he proves that he can win this season, honestly. Um, so yeah, I'll lean away from Struff, but I don't think I'd bet that game. Next, we have Matteo Arnardi versus Borna Gorch. This is a tough one. First meeting for them as well. Arnaldi Arnaldi is definitely the higher ranked player, but I don't necessarily think that he wins this match. I feel like this could go Corch's way. This is too hard to predict, and I think the odds reflect that. Gonna pass on this one. Next, we have Martin Landelus versus Cameron Norrie, their first meeting. Cameron Norrie should take this down. Landelus has been awful this season. In general, his last 10 games, I think he's 2-8. So he's just not playing well. Cameron Norrie also is not playing well, but I do think Cameron Norrie is a lot better in terms of talent. Next, we have Laurent Etienne versus Marcos Giron. Marcos Giron looked pretty impressive. He took down Alexei Poprin, took down Casper Ruud, so he took down two very good opponents. Laurent Etienne hasn't really been able to get anything going since just really beating Medvedev. Um, he hasn't really been able to get too much going. And I gotta lean Marcos Giron here. He's just been better form. He's beaten better opponents. Gotta go with Marcos Giron. These are the last four matches here. We have Tallinn Griekspoor versus Vit Kopriva. While Vit Kopriva has been very impressive, his record reflects that. Tallinn Griekspoor has been one of the most consistent players this season. I love to back him anytime that I can, and we'll see if I add him into the plays. Next, we have João Fonseca versus Elmer Mahler. Elmer Mahler has been very good. This one kind of scares me a little bit. Um, Elmer Mahler actually took down Gomesana, which he had 2 days ago, I believe, or 3 days ago now. And he took him down in straight sets, and he looked dominant. He really did. He took him down easy. So that really shows me that Elmer Mahler can play. Now, João Fonseca is another beast, though. João Fonseca took down Hugo Humbert in the Phoenix Challenger. He was dominant. Um, and I do think that João Fonseca will take this one down, but it could be an interesting match. Next, we have Boo versus Jacob Fernley. Jacob Fernley leads 2-0 in the head-to-head. Gotta lean Jacob Fernley. I've seen him in qualifiers. He's been pretty consistent. We actually had him, I believe, recently. We had Jacob Fernley in one of our plays, and he played well. We've seen him before. Um, Trust him, honestly, especially recently. Boo, very inconsistent. This is not his surface either. He's not great on the surface, and the head-to-head kind of proves who should win in this matchup. So I would take Fernley. Last but not least, we have Riley Opelka versus Rinky Hijikata. We had Rinky Hijikata actually win us the match in the qualifiers 2 days ago, I believe. And he looked okay. He looked solid. He wasn't amazing. There was a lot of break points I think he could have won in that match, but he looked okay. Riley Opelka though, if Riley Opelka's service is working on these courts, it's very hard to break. Very hard to break. Rinky's serve is not the hardest to break. It's not too great. Um, he also could double fault a couple times that I saw in that other match. So I would definitely lean Opelka in this matchup. But Opelka can come out and give a stinker too. So this one's kind of tough. All right, we went through all the matches. So now we're going to go through our best bets. We actually have three best bets, which is great because I do want to have some positive momentum going, and I feel really confident in these three bets. The first bet I have is Jacob Fernley money line versus Boo. Kind of touched on this earlier. Fernley leads the head-to-head 2-0. He's been in better form. I think he's a little bit better on the surface as well. And it's minus 130. Good price for me. Next is going to be a two-leg parlay. It's going to be Talent Greek Sport money line along with Draw Fonseca money line. Two of the most consistent players this season. Talent Greek Sport, model of consistency. And Joao Fonseca has been great. He really has been. While his opponent has been great as well, especially recently, I do trust Fonseca to take this one down. And last but not least, we have another two-leg parlay of Cameron Norrie versus Cameron Norrie and Nishikori money line. So Cameron Norrie should take down Landalus. I feel very confident in that match. I don't think Landalus has anything really to match up against Cameron Norrie. And Nishikori is playing against Alexander Vukic. Vukic has looked awful. If he goes ahead and wins this match, nothing we can do here. We're trusting the numbers. We're trusting what we've seen so far, and those are our three plays. Let me know what you guys think about these plays. Let me know if you have any plays yourself, even if it's in other sports. I might add some other sports during the day. Just depends if I like any plays. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe.